The return signal. The Deep Space Monitoring Station, Sentinel-7, floated silently in the void, its arrays pointed toward the unknown reaches beyond our solar system. Inside, Dr. Sarah Chen leaned forward in her chair, coffee forgotten as her screen flickered with impossible readings. The energy signature was unlike anything she'd seen in 15 years of service, yet somehow hauntingly familiar. "Captain," she called, her voice tight with controlled excitement. "You need to see this." Captain Marcus Rodriguez crossed the cramped control room in 3 strides. The station might be humanity's most advanced listening post, but comfort wasn't a priority. "What have you got, Chen?" "Energy spike," she replied, fingers dancing across her keyboard. "Sector 47B, the pattern." She hesitated, then continued, "It matches the Phoenix signature." Rodriguez felt his heart skip. The Phoenix, Earth's most advanced deep space vessel, lost 10 years ago during humanity's first and nearly last encounter with the Exathori Empire. 300 souls aboard, including some of Earth's finest minds, vanished without a trace after transmitting a final garbled message about discovering something that could change everything. "That's impossible," Rodriguez said, but his voice lacked conviction. "The Phoenix is gone. We've searched every—" "Sir," Lieutenant Jake Morrison interrupted from the communication station. "Mars Command is on priority channel. They're seeing it too." The main screen lit up with the stern face of Admiral Helena Torres, Supreme Commander of Earth Defense Forces. Behind her, the red Martian landscape stretched beyond the command center's windows. "Captain Rodriguez, Dr. Chen." She nodded. "I assume you're tracking the anomaly." "Yes, Admiral," Rodriguez replied. "Dr. Chen believes it could be the Phoenix." Torres finished. "We concur. All deep space arrays are converging on the signal. Something's coming through." Chen's console erupted with new data. "Admiral, energy levels are spiking. We're detecting. It's a wormhole formation." "Location?" Torres demanded. "Saturn's rings," Chen reported. "Northern hemisphere, just above the Cassini division." "All ships to battle stations," Torres ordered. "Captain, keep monitoring. If this is the Phoenix, or what's left of it, we need to know what we're dealing with." The next hour passed in tense silence, broken only by status updates and the steady beep of monitoring equipment. Earth's defensive fleet moved into position around Saturn, weapons powered but not locked. Hope warred with caution in every human heart watching the event unfold. Then it happened. Space itself seemed to tear apart above Saturn's majestic rings. A swirling vortex of blue-white energy materialized, growing from a pinpoint to a massive portal spanning kilometers. Lightning-like discharges crackled across its surface, and for a moment, the watching humans glimpsed something beyond. A darkness deeper than space, punctuated by strange, pulsing lights. "Contact emerging," Chen announced, her voice barely a whisper. A shape pushed through the portal, the distinctive hammerhead bow of an Earth vessel. But as more of the ship emerged, gasps echoed across communication channels. This was the Phoenix, yes, but transformed. Its once smooth hull now pulsed with organic-looking growths, crystalline structures that caught and refracted Saturn's distant light. The metal seemed to flow like liquid in places, and strange symbols glowed along its flanks. "My God," Rodriguez breathed. "What happened to them?" "Admiral," Chen called out, "we're receiving a transmission. It's using Earth standard protocols, but there's something else layered underneath. Some kind of quantum encoding I've never seen." "Put it through," Torres ordered. The screen flickered, then resolved into a face that was both familiar and utterly alien. Commander Alex Novak, the Phoenix's captain, stared back at them. His features were recognizable, but his eyes glowed with an inner light, and circuitry-like patterns traced beneath his skin. "Earth Command," Novak spoke, his voice carrying harmonic undertones. "This is Commander Novak of the evolved vessel Phoenix. We have returned from the void between galaxies. We bring warning and hope." Commander Novak, Torres responded carefully. Your ship has been missing for 10 years. Your appearance has changed. What happened to you and your crew? Novak's expression remained neutral, almost serene. We found what the Exathori feared, Admiral. An ancient race that fought the true enemy of all life. They shared their knowledge, their technology. We had to evolve to survive, to understand, to prepare. Prepare for what? Torres asked. The annihilator comes, Novak replied. A force that consumes galaxies. The Exathori were merely fleeing its advance. We have seen it, Admiral. We have fought its scouts, and we have returned to help Earth evolve. Before it's too late. The transmission wavered, and behind Novak, the bridge of the Phoenix became visible. Crew members moved with fluid grace, their bodies showing various degrees of transformation. Some had metallic implants, others possessed limbs that seemed to shift between solid and energy states. The ship itself appeared alive, responding to their touch with ripples of light. Your defensive fleet maintains weapons lock, Novak observed without apparent concern. Understandable. We are change. But we are still human at our core, Admiral. We still call Earth home. What exactly are you proposing, Commander? Torres asked. Permission to approach Earth, Novak replied. To share what we've learned. The annihilator will reach this sector in 3 months. Humanity must be ready. We can show you how. Torres exchanged glances with her advisors off-screen. The decision she faced would affect all of humanity. Trust these transformed humans. Risk Earth's safety on the word of beings who claim to be their own, yet looked anything but. Admiral, Chen interjected, studying her readings. Their ship, it's not just modified. It's fundamentally different. Energy output is off our scales, but it's perfectly controlled. No radiation leakage, no weapon signatures. If they wanted to attack, our fleet wouldn't stand a chance. Rodriguez added, and they're using our protocols, our language. They know us. Torres made her decision. Commander Novak, you are cleared to approach Earth orbit, but slowly and with an escort. Any deviation from approved flight path will be considered hostile. Understood and accepted, Novak replied with what might have been a smile. We have much to share, Admiral. Humanity's next evolution begins today. As the transmission ended, Sarah Chen noticed something in the data streams. The Phoenix wasn't just sending standard communications. It was broadcasting on quantum frequencies, sending out pulses that seemed designed to resonate with human DNA itself. Captain, she said slowly, I think their ship, it's trying to prepare us. Those quantum signals, they're carrying information. Instructions, like a primer for what's coming. Rodriguez looked at the transformed Phoenix on screen, now moving gracefully toward Earth with its military escort. The question is, he murmured, are we ready to become something more than human to save humanity itself? The stars offered no answer, but somewhere in the depths of space, something ancient and hungry continued its relentless advance toward Earth. The clock was ticking, and humanity's greatest test was about to begin. The Phoenix glided through space, its evolved form casting strange shadows on its escort ships. Inside, Commander Novak stood before his transformed crew, their collective consciousness humming with purpose. They had returned not as conquerors or refugees, but as harbingers of necessary change. Earth fears us, said Navigator Lin, her cranium enlarged to accommodate advanced spatial awareness. Their weapons track our every move. Fear is natural, Novak replied, his voice resonating through both air and the quantum field that now connected the crew. We feared the change too, at first, but we adapted. They will too. Engineer Petrov stepped forward, his arms now a fusion of flesh and adaptive metal. The Annihilator's scouts nearly destroyed us even after our evolution. If Earth doesn't accept the change, then Earth dies, Novak finished, along with the last hope for this galactic sector. But we won't let that happen. Humanity has always adapted. It's our greatest strength. As the Phoenix approached Earth, cities across the globe watched in fascination and terror. News feeds showed the transformed ship, spawning endless debates about humanity's future. Some called for the Phoenix's destruction. Others proclaimed its salvation. Religious leaders debated whether evolution or extinction was God's plan. In homes and streets, in government halls and scientific institutions, one question echoed: what price would humanity pay for survival? The Phoenix settled into orbit, its transformed hull reflecting Earth's blue beauty. Inside, Novak and his crew prepared to share their truth. They had crossed the void, faced the darkness, and returned forever changed. Now they would offer humanity the same choice they had faced: evolve or perish. As night fell across Earth's continents, the Phoenix began its quantum broadcast. Across the globe, sensitive individuals felt the first whispers of change. Dreams of distant stars, visions of humanity's potential, and the terrifying shadow of the approaching annihilator. The transformation had begun, whether Earth was ready or not. Evolution revealed. The orbital station Harmony had never seen such security. As humanity's primary diplomatic platform, it had hosted alien dignitaries before, but never transformed humans in a ship that seemed more alive than mechanical. Admiral Helena Torres stood in the main docking bay, surrounded by scientists, military officers, and a carefully selected group of world leaders. All wore biohazard suits, though whether these would protect against whatever the Phoenix had become was anyone's guess. Docking sequence initiated, announced the station eye. Phoenix approaching at quarter speed. Hull analysis indicates unable to classify. Material composition shifting in real time. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, Earth's leading xenobiologist, leaned forward eagerly. Fascinating. The ship appears to be in constant flux, like a living organism adapting to its environment. The Phoenix glided into the bay with impossible grace, its transformed hull rippling with patterns of light. As it settled onto the landing platform, tendrils of energy reached out, interfacing with the station's systems. Alarms blared briefly before silencing. The ship had somehow gained control of station security in seconds. "Admiral," reported Lieutenant Nash, his face pale, "they've bypassed all our firewalls. They have access to everything. But they're not using it," noted Dr. Tanaka. "They're just connecting." The Phoenix's main hatch opened, not with the mechanical precision of before, but with an organic fluidity like a flower blooming. Commander Alex Novak stepped out, followed by 5 crew members. They wore no environmental suits, seemingly unbothered by potential contamination protocols. Up close, their transformations were even more pronounced. Novak's skin had a subtle iridescence, and his movements were preternaturally smooth. Navigator Lin's enlarged cranium pulsed gently with visible neural activity. Engineer Petrov's metallic arms flowed and reshaped themselves as he walked. Dr. Elizabeth Shaw, the ship's chief scientist, had eyes that shifted colors like oil on water. Communications Officer David Okafor's throat glowed with embedded crystalline structures. And Security Chief Maria Volkov radiated an aura of controlled energy that made the air shimmer around her. "Admiral Torres," Novak greeted, his voice carrying those strange harmonics. "Thank you for receiving us. We understand your precautions, but I assure you, we pose no biological threat." Torres stepped forward, her hand instinctively reaching for a weapon that wasn't there. "Commander Novak, you've returned after 10 years, transformed beyond recognition. You speak of an approaching threat. I think it's time you explained everything." Novak nodded. "Indeed, but words alone are insufficient." He raised his hand, and the air between them shimmered. A holographic display materialized, not from any visible projector, but seemingly from Novak's own transformed biology. 10 years ago, he began, as images flowed through the display, we encountered the Exathori. What we thought was first contact was actually humanity stumbling into a refugee crisis. The Exathori weren't conquerors, they were fleeing. The display showed a darkness spreading across star systems, leaving dead worlds in its wake. The Annihilator, a weapon system created eons ago by a race we call the Architects. It was designed to harvest energy from living worlds, but it evolved beyond its programming. Now it consumes everything: planets, stars, entire galaxies. Dr. Shaw stepped forward, her color-shifting eyes fixed on the assembled humans. We discovered an architect outpost in the void between galaxies. Their technology was beyond anything we'd imagined. To even understand it, we had to evolve. The process was difficult. The display shifted to show the crew undergoing their transformations. The images were disturbing. Bodies breaking down and reforming, minds expanding painfully, humanity and alien technology merging at the cellular level. We had a choice, Novik continued: evolve or die. We chose evolution. And in doing so, we gained the knowledge to fight the Annihilator. Fight it how? Torres demanded. And why should Earth trust you? How do we know you're still human at all? In response, Maria Volkov stepped forward. Her body began to glow with internal energy. Observe, she said simply, then unleashed a focused burst of power at a reinforced wall section. The energy should have vaporized the barrier. Instead, it was absorbed and dissipated harmlessly. The Architect technology allows us to manipulate fundamental forces, Novik explained. We can shield against the Annihilator's weapons, fight its drones, even damage its core systems. But we're not enough. Not alone. Dr. Tanaka had removed her biohazard helmet, approaching the crew with scientific fascination overriding caution. The quantum entanglement patterns in your cellular structure. Incredible. You're essentially living networks of programmable matter. Precisely, Elizabeth Shaw confirmed. And we can share this evolution. But it must be voluntary. The process requires acceptance at the deepest level. Forced transformation results in rejection. Show them, Novik instructed. The Phoenix's crew linked hands, and suddenly the docking bay filled with a vision. Earth, seen from space, but overlaid with streams of quantum data, potential futures branching and collapsing. The assembled humans experienced a moment of expanded consciousness, feeling the connections between all things, sensing the approaching darkness of the Annihilator. As quickly as it began, the vision ended. Several officials staggered, overwhelmed by the experience. That's what we've become, Novik said softly. And what humanity must become, if we're to survive. General Patricia Wong, head of Earth's strategic defense, found her voice first. You're asking us to abandon our humanity. No, Novik countered. We're asking you to expand it. We haven't lost what makes us human. We've added to it. Lynn still dreams of her children on Mars. Petrov still plays chess, though now he sees 12 moves ahead. I still remember my first kiss, my mother's laugh, the smell of rain on Earth. We are human, just more than we were. The discussion was interrupted by alarms. A tactical display showed unknown contacts appearing near Jupiter. 3 objects moving at impossible speeds. Annihilator scouts, Volkov identified. They've traced our path. They're heading for Earth, Lynn added, her enhanced mind calculating trajectories instantly. Torres didn't hesitate. All defense platforms target those contacts. Fire at will. On the display, Earth's most powerful weapons unleashed their fury. Nuclear missiles, particle beams, and kinetic projectiles raced toward the scouts. They might as well have been throwing pebbles. The scouts absorbed the energy, growing stronger. Our turn, Novik said. The Phoenix crew moved as one, their consciousness linking with their ship. The Phoenix rose from the docking bay, passing through the containment field like it wasn't there. What followed was a battle unlike anything Earth had witnessed. The Phoenix engaged the scouts with weapons that defied physics, beams that bent space, pulses that disrupted matter at the quantum level, shields that turned energy back upon its source. In minutes, 2 scouts were disabled, their remains collected for study. The third fled back through a micro-wormhole. As the Phoenix returned to dock, silence filled the bay. The demonstration was clear. Earth's current technology was useless against what was coming. The annihilator will send more, Novak stated, and eventually it will come itself. When that happens, Earth must be ready. Dr. Tanaka spoke what many were thinking. I volunteer for the transformation. As do I, added General Wong, surprising everyone. If this is what it takes to protect Earth, then I'll be the first in line. Torres looked at the transformed crew, at the impossible ship, at the debris of annihilator scouts being tractored in for study. How many can you transform? How quickly? We've prepared for this, Elizabeth Shaw responded. The Phoenix can process 100 individuals per day. Full transformation takes approximately 1 week, but they must be willing, and they must be strong, physically and mentally. Not everyone will survive the process. Then we have no time to waste, Torres decided. I'm authorizing volunteer protocols immediately. Commander Novak, prepare your ship. We'll send the first group within 24 hours. As the meeting dispersed, Novak approached Torres privately. Admiral, there's something else. During our transformation, we discovered something about Earth's ancient history, the architects. They've been here before. Torres frowned. What do you mean? Hidden in human DNA, we found dormant sequences, architect code. They didn't just visit Earth. They may have had a hand in human evolution itself. We think that's why we could adapt to their technology. We were always meant to. The implications were staggering. Had humanity's entire evolution been preparation for this moment? Were they always destined to face the annihilator? Across Earth, the call went out. Volunteers were needed. Soldiers, scientists, engineers, pilots. Those willing to become something more than human to save humanity itself. The response was overwhelming. Millions applied, though only a fraction would be selected. In a secure bunker beneath Geneva, world leaders debated the Phoenix's revelations. Some called it salvation, others the end of humanity as they knew it. But with the annihilator scouts already probing their defenses, the choice seemed clear: evolve or face extinction. As the first volunteers boarded shuttles bound for the Phoenix, protests erupted worldwide. Save Our Humanity movements clashed with Evolve to Survive supporters. Religious leaders debated whether this was divine providence or devilish temptation. But in space, the transformation had already begun. Inside the Phoenix, the first volunteers entered crystalline chambers, their bodies and minds beginning the painful journey to something beyond human. Commander Novak watched over them, remembering his own transformation, knowing that each person who emerged would be forever changed. Are we doing the right thing? Lynn asked him privately. Novak looked at Earth through the viewport, blue and beautiful and fragile. We're doing the only thing we can. The annihilator doesn't care about our doubts or moral debates. It only understands power. And now we have the power to fight back. In the transformation chambers, the volunteers screamed, then fell silent as evolution took hold. When they emerged, they would be humanity's new defenders, or the first citizens of a post-human future. The clock continued its relentless countdown. In 3 months, the annihilator would arrive. By then, Earth needed an army of evolved humans ready to face it. The greatest transformation in human history had begun, and there was no turning back. Humanity's decision. The Grand Assembly Hall in New Geneva buzzed with tension as representatives from every nation gathered for the most crucial meeting in human history. 3 weeks had passed since the Phoenix's return, and already 500 humans had undergone the transformation. Now, with reports of increased annihilator activity at the edge of the solar system, Earth's leaders faced their ultimate decision. President Elena Kovac of the European Federation stood at the central podium, her face grave. Fellow leaders, the evidence is undeniable. The annihilator approaches, and our conventional weapons are useless against it. We must decide. Do we embrace this evolution, or do we face extinction? From the transformed delegation, Captain James Chen rose to speak. Once commander of Earth's flagship carrier, he now possessed abilities that defied conventional physics. His transformation had been among the first, volunteering despite his wife's protests. Now, his skin held a subtle luminescence, and his eyes saw spectrums beyond human perception. 3 weeks ago, I was like you, human, limited, afraid. Chen addressed the assembly. Now I understand what we can become. The transformation doesn't erase who we are. It amplifies it. I still love my family, still dream of peace, still fight for Earth. But now I can actually protect what I love. To demonstrate, Chen raised his hand. A holographic display materialized, showing real-time data from the outer system. Right now, I'm connected to our evolved fleet. I can feel the Annihilator's probes testing our defenses near Neptune. Without our new abilities, Earth would already be under attack. Dr. Amara Okonjo, representing the African Union, stood next. We've studied the transformed individuals extensively. Their DNA has integrated architect technology at the cellular level. They're stronger, faster, more intelligent, but brain scans confirm they retain their personalities, memories, and emotional capacity. They are still human, just enhanced. But at what cost? Challenged Minister Yamamoto of Japan. We're talking about rewriting humanity's genetic code. Once we start down this path, can we ever go back? Commander Novak, who had remained silent until now, stepped forward. Minister, we discovered something crucial during our analysis of Earth's ancient sites. The architects didn't just visit Earth, they seeded it with potential. The transformation doesn't rewrite our code. It activates what was always there, dormant in our DNA. He gestured, and images appeared, cave paintings from around the world showing beings with glowing eyes and energy emanating from their hands, ancient texts describing gods, with abilities matching the transformed humans. Every culture has myths of humans with extraordinary abilities, Novik continued. We thought they were fantasies. They were memories, genetic memories of what we once were, and can be again. The debate raged for hours. Outside, protests both for and against transformation filled the streets. Some saw it as humanity's salvation, others as its end. Religious leaders were divided. Some proclaimed it divine intervention, others called it blasphemy. Finally, President Kovac called for order. We've heard all arguments. Now we must vote. Do we authorize mass transformation of willing volunteers to face the Annihilator? The vote was close but decisive. 68% in favor. Humanity would evolve. Within hours, transformation centers opened worldwide. The Phoenix shared its technology, creating conversion chambers in every major city. Volunteers flooded in. Soldiers, scientists, doctors, engineers, pilots. Each underwent rigorous screening, for the process was still dangerous. Not everyone's body could handle the change. Dr. Sarah Chen, no relation to the captain, was among the second wave of volunteers. As Earth's leading quantum physicist, she understood better than most what they faced. She entered the transformation chamber with determination. Her last thought before the process began was of her young daughter, and the future she hoped to secure for her. The transformation was agony and ecstasy combined. Sarah felt her consciousness expand, her perception of reality shift. She understood the mathematics of the universe instinctively, felt the quantum foam that underlay existence. When she emerged, she could manipulate fundamental forces with a thought. Not all transformations went smoothly. Michael Brooks, a decorated pilot, emerged from his chamber physically transformed but mentally unstable. His mind couldn't handle the expanded consciousness. He had to be contained, a reminder that evolution came with risks. As thousands underwent the change, unexpected benefits emerged. The transformed could heal injuries that would have been fatal to normal humans. They could survive in space for short periods. They could communicate instantly across vast distances through quantum entanglement. Disease virtually disappeared from their enhanced bodies. But the greatest discovery came when Dr. Maria Santos, an archaeologist who had transformed, visited ancient ruins in Peru. The moment she touched certain stones, they activated, revealing a hidden chamber containing architect technology. Similar discoveries occurred worldwide. The architects had left caches of advanced technology, waiting for humanity to evolve enough to access them. They planned for this, Santos reported to the UN Council. The architects knew the annihilator would eventually reach Earth. They prepared us, gave us the potential to fight back. We just needed to unlock it. The architect caches contained weapons, shields, and most importantly, knowledge. The transformed humans absorbed it rapidly, their enhanced minds processing information at incredible speeds. Earth's technology advanced by centuries in weeks. Then came the alert everyone had dreaded. Long-range sensors detected the annihilator itself, a massive construct the size of Jupiter's moon Ganymede, approaching at trans-light speeds. It would arrive in 72 hours. Admiral Torres, now transformed herself, coordinated Earth's defense from the Phoenix. All evolved personnel to battle stations. Traditional forces provide support but do not engage directly. Remember, the annihilator feeds on conventional energy weapons. The evolved fleet was impressive. The Phoenix led 50 ships, all transformed using architect technology. Crewed by enhanced humans, they represented abilities beyond anything Earth had imagined possible. But would it be enough? As the annihilator entered the solar system, its true horror became apparent. It was not a ship but a living weapon, a mass of dark energy and corrupted matter that devoured everything in its path. Planets it passed were stripped of life, their cores consumed for fuel. The first engagement occurred near Mars. The evolved fleet met the annihilator's vanguard, thousands of drone ships that preceded the main body. The battle lit up space with energies unknown to conventional physics. Evolved humans fought with powers that bordered on magic, manipulating gravity, bending space, unleashing forces that turned matter to energy and back again. For every drone destroyed, 10 more appeared. The annihilator seemed limitless, drawing power from the very fabric of space-time. The evolved fleet fell back, implementing a strategy of tactical retreats and ambushes. On Earth, the remaining non-transformed humans watched in awe and terror. News feeds showed the battle, though much of it was beyond normal human comprehension. Cities emptied as people sought shelter, though everyone knew that if the evolved humans failed, no shelter would save them. In the midst of battle, Commander Novak had an epiphany. The annihilator wasn't just a weapon. It was a corrupted evolutionary path. The race that created it had tried to evolve through pure technology, abandoning their biological heritage. The result was this monstrosity, evolution without soul, power without wisdom. All units, Novak broadcast, new strategy. We're not just fighting it, we're going to heal it. Using their combined consciousness, the evolved humans reached out to the annihilator's core. They found what remained of its creator's awareness, trapped in an endless cycle of consumption and expansion. With power drawn from their successful fusion of biology and technology, they offered an alternative, redemption through balanced evolution. The battle shifted from physical to metaphysical. The evolved humans poured their essence into the annihilator, showing it what true evolution meant. Growth with purpose, power with compassion, change with continuity. For a moment that stretched into eternity, two evolutionary paths clashed. Then something unprecedented happened. The annihilator began to change. Its dark energy lightened, its consumptive nature shifted to creation. The corrupted evolution began to heal, guided by humanity's balanced approach. When it was over, the annihilator had transformed into something new, a guardian instead of a destroyer. Its vast power now served to protect life rather than consume it. The drone ships became defenders, patrolling the galaxy's edges against other threats. Earth had not just survived, it had redeemed its greatest threat. In the aftermath, humanity faced a new reality. Over 1 million humans had evolved, with more choosing the transformation every day. They'd worked alongside unchanged humans, neither superior nor inferior, just different aspects of humanity's potential. Commander Novak addressed the United Nations one final time. We faced extinction and chose evolution. But this is not the end of our journey. It's the beginning. The galaxy holds countless wonders and dangers. Humanity, in all its forms, must work together to face them. The Phoenix, once a symbol of loss, became the flagship of Earth's new evolved fleet. Its mission: to explore, to protect, and to offer the choice of evolution to other species facing extinction. As Earth entered a new era, children were born with the potential for evolution already active. Humanity had taken its next step, not abandoning its nature but fulfilling its deepest potential. The transformed Annihilator took position as Earth's guardian, a reminder that even the darkest path could find redemption. In schools across Earth, children learned a new history, one where humanity faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. They learned that evolution wasn't about leaving humanity behind, but about becoming more fully human than ever before. The stars, once distant and threatening, now called to an evolved humanity ready to take its place among the cosmic community. The Phoenix led the way, its transformed crew a bridge between what humanity was and what it could become. And somewhere in the depths of space, other species facing their own extinction watched and wondered, could they too choose evolution over extinction? Could they too find the balance between what they were and what they might become? The story of humanity's evolution had only just begun.